They had heard rumours of a Jizo statue inside Ushikubi Tunnel that cried tears of blood, so of course they had to check it out. They went as a decently sized group, safety in numbers after all, and when they got there, they found the Jizo statue right away. It was missing its head. That couldn't be good. Looking around, they found the head lying on the ground at their feet, and it seemed someone had deliberately broken it off. The tunnel walls were covered in graffiti, so perhaps some local delinquents had done it. As they all stared at the broken head on the ground for a few moments, someone finally said, "Let's go. All these weird sounds out here are freaking me out." One friend in particular really wanted to leave, but the others disagreed. They'd just gotten there, and they had barely looked around yet. Besides, they couldn't hear any sounds inside the tunnel. On the contrary, it was almost too quiet. The sight of his friend's face turning pale, almost ghostly blue, was something he'd never forget though. He later heard that the Jizo statue inside the tunnel was placed there in memorial of a mother who died there. He also later learnt that it wasn't uncommon for those who visited the tunnel to later have a near-miss accident after leaving. Something he himself experienced when a car ignored a red light and almost hit him when he was crossing the road shortly after their visit. Officially known as Miyajima Tunnel, Ushikubi Tunnel can be found on the border of Ishikawa and Toyama prefectures. It's generally called Ushikubi because that's where it can be found, and also because of the interesting stories behind the region's name. As the story goes, Yasaka Shrine in Ushikubi village was dedicated to a kami by the name of Gozu Tenno, the characters for Gozu being that of ox or cow, and head, the same way Ushikubi can be read. And just how he sounds, this Gozu Tenno, the ox head emperor, was thought to have a human body with an ox's head. His legend was passed down over the years by various onmyoji, and he was believed to be a god of pestilence. However, because Gozu Tenno was so powerful, it was believed that if people worshipped him correctly, he wouldn't bring disaster, but rather protect them from it. As such, he became a symbol of protection, and his image was used to ward off evil. A name similar to his own, Ushikubi, was also then given to a village that worshipped him. At any rate, Miyajima Tunnel, which would later be commonly called Ushikubi Tunnel, was built in 1928 and is 55 meters long. It's 27 meters long on the Ishikawa side and 28 meters long on the Toyama side, although it's officially listed as being in Ishikawa. It is overall a rather small tunnel, being only 3 meters wide and just over 3 meters tall as well. It has no lighting. Inside, you can find a small sign marking which prefecture you're now entering, a large amount of graffiti on the walls, and a single Jizo statue that nowadays has a terrifying story and history behind it. There are, in fact, several urban legends connected to this tunnel, which is still in use today. So, let's take a look at a few. First, the Jizo statue. According to the story still told today, a man got into an argument with a friend of his during the 1980s, and then killed him inside the tunnel. Yet, after this horrific act, it didn't take long for reality to settle in, and in a panic, the man set himself on fire. He then died. His mother, learning what had happened to her son, was unable to take it any longer and then died herself near Ushikubi Tunnel as well. It was this event, many claim, that first gave the tunnel its creepy reputation, and after the mother's death, it was said that you could even see her spirit hanging around the tunnel. Sometimes, if you were unlucky enough to be driving by at the time, her spirit might even try to get in the car with you as you passed by. It wasn't the spirit of the man, or even the friend that he killed, but the mother that people always claim to see. As such, a Jizol statue was placed inside the tunnel in memorial of her death. It was hoped, perhaps, that it might help appease her spirit and help her move on. But it didn't take long for the Jizol statue to become associated with several stories as well. After the Jizol statue was put in the tunnel, people started to visit it because of an interesting rumour. A rumour that the Jizol statue would cry tears of blood. This, of course, attracted all sorts of people to the tunnel to see if the rumours were true. Many of them were young delinquents out on a test of courage, and one group reportedly broke the statue and took photos of it without its head. This led to even further rumours that if you happened upon the statue and it was headless, then you would be cursed. But then, if you found it with its head, but it was crying tears of blood, then you were still cursed. It seems there was no winning. The broken statue was replaced with a new one, but the legends of it crying blood and or being headless remain. There are, however, rumours that the Jizol statue exists simply because the tunnel is dangerous, particularly in winter, and numerous traffic accidents have happened there over the years, which has occasionally included the loss of life. Others claim it is there merely as a protector. The tunnel crosses prefectural borders, so the statue is simply there to watch over people and, hopefully, protect them on their way. Jizol is a guardian of travellers, after all. Either way, the statue does exist, and seems to be renewed every now and then, but the veracity behind the many stories surrounding it remains unknown. There are also rumours that you might be chased by the spirits of fallen warriors if you pass through the tunnel. While this might sound entirely random, there's a good reason for this one too. During the Genpei War, numerous warriors from the Heike clan fled to this particular area and hid from those wishing to kill them. Thus, it's said that those who did die still lurk in the area, waiting for the revival of their beloved clan. Other smaller legends include a phone number you can find written on the concrete walls of the tunnel. If you call it, you will be cursed. And if you happen to look in the rearview mirror while you're passing through, then you might be unlucky enough to see a funeral procession passing behind you. Probably best not to ask who that one's for. Many of these tales first caught public attention after Ushikubi Tunnel was featured as a well-known local ghost spot on a television program back in the day. So, of course, they must be taken with a large grain of salt. No evidence has ever been found that someone died in the tunnel, nor that the mother of that man died there either. But as an old, creepy tunnel that's nearly 100 years old now, and located in an area with an interesting history and somewhat creepy name, it's not surprising that it would gather a few ghost stories along the way. But what did you guys think of this one? Let me know in the comments below, and if you'd like to help support this channel so you can see more content like this, please consider hitting that join button down below as well. Every bit of support really helps. Thanks guys, and I'll see you again next time.